Here.
I don't have any chicken. It seems like because of the way the system works, on Fridays we go to Walmart and Prairie du Chien. On Saturday we make the appointment, and then all week we build a grocery list, and we have an appointed time on Friday afternoon that we go pick up our groceries. And on Monday of last week, when I placed my order, I ordered chicken. Instead I got eggs. So if you want eggs as you drive out today, grab a dozen, because I have lots of eggs and no chicken. When you go over there to get your groceries, there's this real nice little gal, little bitty gal, gloves on, a mask. She comes up about 6-7 feet from your door and she says, "Do you know what items you're not going to get today?" And I said, "Well, yes I do. I've got my email on my phone, and a couple hours ago I got an email and you told me what I wasn't going to get, and what I'm not going to get is mostly chicken." But I was very cordial. I was not rude. I was not loud. I was very nice. She's doing her job, and she's doing it really well. A lot of people, there's an awful lot of people that are going to work, that they're essential, that they're required, whether they work at a grocery store, a clinic, a doctor's office, a hospital, the police department. They're doing their job, and they're doing it well. And in my opinion, it's my job to show them all the respect I can. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18. I want to read you a story about Abraham. Genesis 18:1. The Lord, don't miss that word right there, the Lord himself appeared to Abraham near the trees at Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and he saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them, and he bowed low to the ground. He evidently recognized him. Evidently. I don't know how you would. If there was a crowd of people and Jesus was standing right straight in the middle, unless he looked like the picture on the wall in the Wadena Community Church where I grew up as a little boy, that's Jesus. I know it is. Somebody took his photograph. You get it? He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under the tree. Let me get you something to eat so that you can be refreshed, and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." Very well, they answered. They answered. Not one of them. Very well, they answered. "Do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 sheaves of fine flour and knead it, and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd, and he selected a choice tender calf and gave it to a servant who hurriedly prepared it. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared, and he set them before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. "Where's your wife, Sarah?" they asked. "There in the tent," he said. Then the Lord said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already old and well advanced in years, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, after I am worn out, my master is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, will I really have a child now that I'm old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." Is anything too hard for the Lord? A lot of times when you hear that text preached, that's the message. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Or a lot of times when you hear that text preached, you think about Sarah and her doubt, her wondering, at this age, do you really think I could have a baby? This morning I want you to think a different path with me for just a minute. Let's think about Abraham. He's sitting in the tent, in the shade, in the heat of the day. 3 men approach. Somehow he knew that was God. I'm not sure how. I don't know how. But somehow he knew that was God. So what did he do? Well, he bowed down and then he arranged for food. Now our text doesn't give us the dialogue. There had to be a lot more dialogue. How long does it take to take 3 portions of wheat and mix it into bread and knead it and bake it and serve it? I couldn't do it in a day, but I think people that are good at that stuff maybe could get it out in an hour? Or how long does it take to go get the calf and slaughter the calf and prepare it and bring it cooked ready to eat? My point is, somewhere in all of that time there was a dialogue, and we don't know what it was, and it really doesn't matter what it was, because if it mattered it would be in the book. The important part is Abraham was doing just what he was supposed to do. He wasn't doing anything extraordinary. He wasn't fighting fires or chasing down criminals or anything like that. He was doing what he was called to do, just like my little friend at Walmart. Just like our friends over here at the grocery store. Just like the people that take your money at the gas station. Just like the people that are changing oil every day in the station. A person I know was on Facebook this week on a rant because their spouse is immunocompromised and their spouse went to a station. My first thought was, if you're immunocompromised, don't go to the station. Let's stay home. That's what we're supposed to be doing right now. We all have a job right now. Some of us are doing it. Some of us are doing it well. Some of us not so well. Some of us are just spinning our wheels and trying. And some days I'm on both sides of that track. But Abraham followed instruction. He did what was required of him. He prepared the meal. He had it brought. He served it. He waited on God. And then when the little dialogue exchange between Sarah and God happened, Abraham didn't defend. He didn't open his mouth. He just... Where this started this week is I'm having a little trouble with my tongue. I'm having a little trouble keeping it still when we order supper a couple nights a week from local restaurants, trying to support them, and you get it and you bring it home and it's not what you ordered. Take care of your tongue.